we roll high, big whips, big joints, big blunts, it's the Buckeye way. We rollin' nothing but that loud, Buckeye loud pack. Let's roll up Ohio. Heavy bass hits, horns rise, mastermind cannabis, Ohio Cannabis Live. We here to unite. Let's light it up. Ohio where we roll high, big whips, big vibes, big joints, big blunts, Buckeye loud for life. From 216 to 614, we keep it lit. 330 and 740, we the ultimate. Nothing but that loud pack, the pride of the state. Roll it up, light it up, let's elevate. From Akron to Canton, Columbus to Dayton, Buckeye buzz so strong, there's no debating. You can see the smoke rise, we shining bright. Ohio loud got us glowing in the satellite light. Ohio Cannabis Live, yeah, we here to stay. Uniting 88 counties in a major way. Let's roll up Ohio, let's toke and chill. Big blunts, big joints, yeah, you know the deal. Buckeye loud pack, we blazing the game. Ohio forever, remember the name. Let's roll up Ohio, we rollin' proud. You can see the smoke from space, it's that loud. From the fields to the streets, we feel the thrill. Ohio's the anthem, let's roll and chill. We on a whole new level, Ohio's the vibe. Big clouds in the sky, Buckeyes ride or die. From 419 to 513, we keep it tight. 937 and 440, we ignite. Big joints in Columbus, big blunts in the south. From Toledo to Cleveland, we lighten the loud. Ohio's united, this our time to shine. 88 counties reppin', all on the grind. Put it in a joint, light it and smoke it, Buckeye pride strong. Ohio's the focus, from I-70 to 71 we ride. Ohio Cannabis Live, keeping us unified. Let's roll up Ohio, let's toke and chill. Big blunts, big joints, yeah, you know the deal. Buckeye loud pack, we blazing the game. Ohio forever, remember the name. Let's roll up Ohio, we rollin' proud. You can see the smoke from space, it's that loud. From the fields to the streets, we feel the thrill. Ohio's the anthem, let's roll and chill. Ohio, Ohio, let's rise together. Buckeye pride, yeah, it's now or never. Big clouds, big vibes, we set the tone. Ohio's
What's up, everyone? It's your boy Mastermind here for Ohio Cannabis Live. Yes, my audio might sound a little funny because I'm having an issue with my audio. But anyway, welcome back to another stream. We're live every Friday at 4:20. I got a couple things I want to go over with you before we get into today's show. We are going to be talking about the new federal hemp ban, and we're going to be talking about this car crashing into this dispensary here in Wintersville and how that has a unique connection to my cannabis history. Like I said before, if you're new to my content, please do me a favor. Go ahead and like, subscribe button right now. Every week we try to give people information about legal cannabis in Ohio and beyond. And I've been doing this since 2019. We got a lot of videos on here about a lot of different things, products, events, things that have happened within the cannabis community and the cannabis space in Ohio. And we're just growing this platform. And we are currently working on the Ohio Cannabis Expo 2026. Tickets are on sale right now. We're going to let veterans in for free and medical patients in for free. I got to get this all out right at the very beginning. And also want to just give you some information about what's been going on with me and explain a few things to you that you may not know. For those who don't know, I have several uncurable, unfixable medical conditions. You've heard me talk about these before on the show. But I do want to let you know that I've been trying to take charge of my health situation. Let's say that. And recently I underwent a procedure to try to help deal with this severe pain that I have from these conditions. And still waiting to figure out if this really worked or not for me. As someone who is a public figure, who was on camera, on videos, on blog posts, at events, or whatever, I had to just be frank with you that, sometimes I might not be able to be on the live stream on Friday. Maybe I need to take a break. Sometimes I might be pushing myself a little bit too hard, in the mindset that I just have to get things done. And I'm a get her done type individual. So what we're always going to say is we're welcome to people to come and help us out. We're always looking for people to volunteer to help. We're trying to get people to be involved with the Ohio Cannabis Expo. We don't have any money to pay anybody right now. We're just getting everything started. The expo is next year. So anyone who would like to help us out, be a part of it, and volunteer to help us out, we would love to have you. Feel free to email us at info@ohiocannabisexpo.com with the subject line volunteer. If you're interested in becoming a speaker at the Ohio Cannabis Expo, please go to our website, ohiocannabisexpo.com, and click on Become a Speaker. If you're interested in becoming a sponsor or an exhibitor, please click on Become a Sponsor or Become an Exhibitor on ohiocannabisexpo.com, and we will get back with you shortly. Now, this federal hemp ban, which was included in the bill to reopen the government from the government shutdown, seems to be targeting a very specific group of people within the hemp industry. To be clear, this doesn't outright ban all hemp. This basically bans intoxicating hemp. This was the hemp that everybody was talking about. This was the loophole, as they say it, where these products that contained Delta 8 THC, for example, or Delta 9, or even Delta 10 THC, or any other intoxicating cannabinoids would no longer be allowed under this new legislation. And to be clear, this isn't like what we're dealing with in Ohio, where we can't make up our minds. This has become law. The president has signed this into law, and it will be effective in 1 year. So 1 year from now, these restrictions, these bans will be in place on products that are sold currently at your corner stores, gas stations, vape shops, etc. So this means that THCA products and other products, drinks and things like that, could be definitely going away or being changed into a different type of product, or only could be something that could be maybe sold in a licensed dispensary. So, the question is, do you really buy a lot of hemp-based products? Are you a big fan of THCA products? Are you a big fan of Delta 8 products? And if you are, I would like to know why in the comments. I'd like to know exactly what makes it something you feel like it's worth having. Or do you care if dispensaries are going to be selling these products? And also, something else I just want to tell y'all. Thank you, Mama Mastermind, for the super chat. Just want to let y'all also know that they're planning on putting a restriction on the seeds too. So, not just the intoxicating cannabinoids, but the seeds. So there are going to be some new restrictions that people I don't think realize are coming, and some of those restrictions are going to be on some of the seeds that are out there right now. And I don't know how they're going to figure out how they're going to enforce all this stuff. They have not said anything yet. Again, we also know that the FDA has 90 days to come up with some more additional rules or guidelines. So this is their way of closing the loophole in the 2018 Farm Bill. I think the biggest thing is that a lot of hemp companies were just gasping their breath with the ban that the governor put in, and then that ban currently is been held back by a judge order until December. But now we have this. So here's how I want y'all to think about this: is a lot of these companies that are operating with these hemp drinks and all those things like that, they got money, financing, or whatever to help them be able to facilitate these products. Now all of a sudden, these products that they've been, selling under the 2018 Farm Bill are no longer going to be allowed to be sold. and this is going to have a economic impact on these people's livelihoods. Meanwhile, this may be a celebration for licensed dispensary companies because they feel like they may be the ones who now finally will be selling these products instead of them being sold in gas stations, corner stores, and vape shops. And so I think at the end of the day, life could go back to what it was before, except for that one caveat. Oh, wait, weed is legal in Ohio. And all this stuff is still weed. So whether we're talking about hemp weed, or we're talking about sativa weed, or indica weed, or hybrid weed, or Delta 8 weed, or Delta 9 weed, or Delta 10 weed, they all still are weed. One plant. All the controversy is about one plant, and it's a cannabis plant. All this talk, we're going to take one plant and split it into 1,000 different kind of plants until we can't figure out what it is anymore. Then after we do that, then maybe finally we'll put it all back together and say, it's just still one plant. It's still weed. But until we get to that point, what is Ohio going to do? Is Ohio going to follow the federal rules? Do we ever follow the rules in Ohio? Nah. They said we do everything the Ohio way. We do everything the Ohio way. That's what they say. So the question is this really going to affect Ohio in any way? I think it could. I think it could help Senate Bill 56 in a way that I don't like. I don't think Senate Bill 56 should pass. It had no support when the vote came up, but it is now headed to committee, and we do know that. So you should still be contacting your local senators and tell them to vote hell no on Senate Bill 56, because it just doesn't make any sense that we're going to say we're more concerned about a kid getting weed than we are about a kid getting a Miller Lite. It's not okay. Kids should not be getting Miller Lights. Can we agree on that? Can I get some codes? Can y'all verify that kids should not be getting Miller Lite? Period. And kids should not be getting weed either. So, unless it's for a medicinal purpose, like, autism or epilepsy or something else, cancer, that's a different story. However, people, they're going to demonize this plant in a way that's only going to help them make money. And I think that's what this is here. I think this is not what people were expecting. I think this is kind of like a big surprise shocker to one side of the industry, which has been making a lot of money from the 2018 Farm Bill. And just think of all those commercials that you keep seeing all the time, talking about they got the best weed in Ohio, and we can send it to you from anywhere. We can send it right to you right now. We got the best weed in Ohio, but it ain't even from Ohio. How do you have the best weed in Ohio if you're not licensed? How come a licensed dispensary can't get on there and say that? Come on, YouTube. So I don't understand what's going to happen now. I feel like at some point they're going to have to reschedule. So this whole thing could be just a big trick to force the FDA thing, to get the DEA to go ahead and downgrade cannabis to a Schedule 3 and reschedule it there, putting it in the same category as like Tylenol or something. Oh no, Tylenol is so bad right now. Oh no. Damn sure don't want to be, we don't want weed on the same line as Tylenol, do we? No way. So right now, key points is nothing has changed with issue 2. The issue 2 law has not been changed. Okay. Another point is the governor put out a ban. It got stopped. Right now, it's business as usual for hemp operators. Federal ban that was put in for to reopen the government, that was law. That was passed in the the U.S. House of Representatives and the U.S. Senate. They all voted. They all passed it. And the President of the United States, he signed it. That makes it law. But it will only be in effect in 1 year. So that means Between now and then, there's lawsuits, fights, take it to the Supreme Court, whatever they're going to do. That's all going to happen in the next 12 months. So you're going to hear a lot of people who are going to be fighting for hemp, drinks, Delta 8, and everything else that people have made a lot of money off of over the last several years since the 2018 Farm Bill has passed. Again, we're still going to have to wait and see how the courts handle this, how they interpret this. Now that this is something that's going to be federal, this will kind of change everything, the trajectory we could be going in. And you have to ask yourself again, do you still think that these products should be sold outside of dispensaries? Or would you feel better if you were known that they were all licensed and tested under the same guidelines as regular cannabis products, even tested by the same labs? I'm working to get some of the labs to come on the show to help answer some questions about THCA and THCV and XYZ and all that good stuff. So hoping to see y'all on the show soon, because I know some of those labs are watching our show. So we really have to keep this all at the forefront. I know the holidays are going to come up, and the most important thing is,
excuse me, boss. You have
how
a
can
text
you
message.
navigate this
Excuse me,
whole?
boss. You have a text message.
How can you navigate this whole thing? See, now I don't have a microphone. I normally you wouldn't have heard that, and then you probably heard that. But anyway, navigating this whole thing is going to require you to tune into the show every Friday at 4:20 to make sure that you share the video with a friend, to make sure that you visit the website and read our latest blog posts, and help keep people informed. As more dispensaries begin to open in Ohio, it's going to get more and more interesting that there's price falling. Price is going to fall because we're going to see 300 plus dispensaries open up in Ohio. And there's going to be a lot of new faces and a lot of new events and things like that are going to happen. We have to figure out exactly what's that going to look like. Now, in the midst of all this other stuff happening, looks like somebody crashed into a dispensary here. And by the looks of this picture, I don't know. It looks like maybe they were lost control. That's kind of the word. You let me know what you think in the comments. We did write a little bit about it on our blog post, but we're not exactly sure of all the details here, whether this was accidental or intentional. But Sunnyside, I just want to let y'all know a little bit about Sunnyside. First of all, this dispensary is located in Wintersville, Ohio. This is like a far eastern part of the state, near like maybe going towards like Steubenville and stuff like that. And when the program first began back in 2019, one of the very first dispensaries to open in Ohio was a dispensary called the CY. And the CY was actually this location here in Wintersville. So it's evolved over time. Cresco now owns it, and Cresco operates a dispensary chain called Sunnyside. So they own several other dispensaries in the state of Ohio. Cresco is a multi-state operating company, meaning they operate multiple dispensaries throughout the United States that are licensed and sell licensed and tested cannabis products. Sunnyside, hasn't really released any information about this to the public, so we really don't have any statement from Sunnyside. We can look at the picture and see that that car is definitely totaled. And, that door is definitely not going to be working for a few days at the very minimum. So I think that before heading to this location, you should definitely call. I mean, I don't know how long it takes to get those doors replaced, but the door definitely appears to be broken there. And I don't know around what time this happened yet, so I don't know if they were trying to ram the door open. I mean, but most people know this kind of points to try to rob these places because they have a lot of different countermeasures to prevent people from stealing this stuff. Trust me, it may look easy, but as you can see, car versus dispensary won. I hope the person is okay. Keep them in prayer. We don't know. Again, maybe someone lost control of the vehicle. Maybe the brakes went out in the vehicle. So let's keep the driver in prayer because we just don't know exactly what the circumstances of this crash is. But if you live in the area and you do know more about it, feel free to chime in on the comments or shoot us a tip at info@ohiocannabislive.com. So, we're looking at a lot of different things on Ohio Cannabis Live. And here we've been trying to figure out what we can do to get more people engaged in our content. We do have a members only program, and thank you to all the people who are part of the members only program. The members only program does help keep our channel going. It does cost us a significant amount of funds and money to be able to continue to broadcast weekly every week. And we do plan on adding more streams. But in the interim, what I ask you to do is just to keep mastermind in prayer. It does take literally everything I got to do these streams sometimes, but these are what keep me going. And I have made it clear to all my doctors that I have no intent on giving up on what I'm doing here. So there's no need to worry about mastermind stopping doing the streaming or missing the streaming. As you've seen, I pretty much try to make sure this happens. But I do want to let you know that I'm going to eventually take a break, at least for a week or two, just to kind of let myself build up. And I'll let you know when that break is coming, so you won't be like messaging me saying, what happened to the stream? No, we're actually taking a break for a change, And I would think after 6 years, 1 million views, 1,500 videos, I think I'm entitled to a 2-week vacation from Ohio Cannabis Live. And I just need y'all to keep watching all the videos and keep the algorithm going when I do decide to make that pilgrimage and that vacation, which is coming up real soon. So again, I thank all of you for being here with us on a weekly basis. We are trying to do something different. We're trying to make sure people know what's going on. And we know there's other things going on. Like, I am aware that there's been some people that are going on strike at the dispensary here in Columbus at Herbal Wellness. And they are not happy with the working conditions at this dispensary. This dispensary used to be called Strawberry Fields, and it is now called Herbal Wellness. Herbal Wellness is another company that operates in more than one state. And the workers complain about, the way the building is set up and them not having ample time to take breaks or rest or sit down. And there are a lot of different companies that, are dealing with employees who feel like they are not getting the best conditions. And some of these employees are thinking or have made attempts or have successfully tended to create or join labor unions. So we're going to hopefully have those folks on the show at one point to kind of hear more about that, because I do think that we need to respect our bud tenders. For those who don't know what a bud tender is, a bud tender is the person that serves you your cannabis at the dispensary, just like a bartender. And they're an important part of the cannabis community and the cannabis culture. And I will be making a special announcement regarding bud tenders and the Ohio Cannabis Expo very soon. And I look forward to sharing that news with you at a later date. But I did say earlier in the stream that veterans and medical cannabis patients will be able to get into the Ohio Cannabis Expo for free. And I will be releasing the discount code for both of those very shortly, so people can go ahead and get their tickets now, because the tickets will go fast, especially the ones when we say they're free. Gonna go like boom so fast. So keep an eye out for when I make that announcement. I also want to let you know that Bigfoot is still around, and so you'll see some more Bigfoot videos. I'll let y'all know that we definitely are using a lot of different technology tools to help us get the word out about what's going on, and also just to have a lot of fun. So, starting next year, I will be playing some more events that will be called the Mastermind Meetups or Mastermind Mixers. These will simply just be hangout, eat, and chill type events. No politics really involved, just having fun. So that's something that also will be coming soon, starting next year. Next year is only like a month away, a month and a half away. Before it'll be 2026 before you know it. This is November 14th. I mean, quick. So, what I want to know is, did you get to see the Northern Lights? If you did see the Northern Lights, let me know in the comments. I didn't get to see it this time, so no cool pictures from Mastermind. Sorry, y'all. I'll let y'all know that, getting these procedures they did to me, they like have a hit or miss chance of working. So I hope that the procedure worked. I'm glad that I was able to get out the hospital in time to be here with y'all. And like I said, it's one of those things where I'm not giving up on anything. I'm just getting started here. And I know one thing's for sure. Uh, these strains that I've been telling y'all about that have been helping me with pain really do work. And I'm talking about lemon cherry gelato. I'm talking about layer cake. I'm talking about ice cream cake. I'm talking about the runts. And these strains, I've been growing them and testing them, and they've been working, y'all. They've been working. So I had to share that little piece of information with y'all that you can grow something and it can end up helping you medicinally. And this is something that lawmakers need to know is that some people are growing for their medicinal reasons. Some people are growing because they love the art of it. They love what it does and it gives them positive energy. You know, as we move forward, we need to make sure that everyone understands that this is one plant and one community. And we need to end a division. Really, we do. And we know that this most recent legislation is designed another way to divide us, to make the plant 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 different other things when it's still one plant. So if I can give you something to walk away with today, when you get done watching the stream, just know this show was still about one plant, and that one plant is a cannabis plant. And sometimes we call it herb, sometimes we call it weed, sometimes we call it the sticky, sometimes we call it the chronic, sometimes we call it that kush, sometimes we call it that gas, sometimes we call it that OG, sometimes we call it that Delta 8, sometimes we call it that Delta 9, sometimes we call it that pack. You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. So again, I thank all of y'all for being here on today's stream. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe to the video. Don't forget to tell me what you're having for dinner. Today I'm going to eat real light. I know my daughter's probably watching this. I'm having a turkey sandwich, Doc. And maybe some other things I'm not going to say out loud on the air. If you can figure out what that is, then you must be spying on me then. So yeah, don't forget to let me know what you have for dinner. And don't forget to let me know if you saw Northern Lights this last couple of days. And let me know, how the weather is in your neck of the woods. Right now here, we're in Columbus. It's a little bit chilly. I heard it was going to be warmer down south. But y'all let me know where you're at. Make sure you check in. And again, everybody have a safe and pleasant weekend. I thank y'all all for supporting Ohio Cannabis Live every Friday. And we'll see you on the next stream very soon. Peace.